This is the Blue Slide Day Use Area, and this is part of Humboldt Redwoods State Park in southern Humboldt County. I haven't been here before. I've been through the Avenue of the Giants, but we are a little bit off of that. But this trail map seems to show that it's a pretty straightforward trail. I'm just going to walk a mile out and then come back and we will see what we can see. So here we have some picnic tables. This is like kind of a conventional picnic area, day use area. And this is about 5 miles down a pretty narrow gravel road, or narrow gravel and paved in places road. So this is not an easy place to get to, but there's a lot more wild places in Northern California than this. So this probably still sees a lot of visitors. And also in this direction, I think the map said this was Bull Creek. This is in the Eel River drainage. Nice creek going on there. This is Bull Creek in Humboldt Redwoods State Park. And really, no comment necessary. And this is the trail, the Bull Creek Trail. I hope. Because it looks like this is a cut log. But this here, this looks just like a tree fell down. Hopefully this is the trail. I guess I will find out. This does indeed look to be a trail. Follows the creek, at least for a while. Perfect day. So down, blocking the creek, doesn't really look like it's damming it, is a redwood tree. And obviously redwood trees, when they fall down into the water, that's an entire ecosystem there. And obviously redwood trees are not just trees, they are the components of a forest. And they are the obvious keystone species of the forest, and what they do when they live and when they die really affects the terrain and the climate around them. And here we're about to cross a bridge. It's a fun thing to cross a bridge in the forest. Unless you're on a horse, don't do that. Wow. You can also see that the sunlight coming in and hitting the forest floor is dappled, which is both aesthetically a very nice effect. It also means this area is shaded enough that its temperature doesn't get too hot and it stays humid, but also that it is light enough that, you know, we do have an understory of plants growing here. And I've been in different redwood groves. In some of them it's very shady, and some of them it's more open. This is comparatively more open than a lot of redwood groves. So I passed through another day use area, and this trail continues to a campground. In this direction there's a tall tree. Seems like a kind of strong claim, a tall tree in a redwood grove. Guess we'll have to check out this spurious information. So this is the creatively named tall tree. Circumference 42 feet, diameter 13.4 feet, and the height is 359.3 feet. That's measured in February 1957, and it might have grown since then. That tree also might be thousands of years old. There's a number of tall trees in the redwood forests, exceptionally tall ones. The tallest ones are actually kept hidden because they don't want people to come and vandalize them or something. Somebody would be dumb enough to do it. So there are trees, and because the forest is very large and hard to access, you can have trees substantially larger than this, and nobody can find them. The other thing to notice about that is, even though these really tall trees are celebrated, and they should be, if you look at it and you compare it to the trees around it, you know, it's bigger, but this is an entire forest, and many of them are also very tall. So this is not a totally unique thing, but it's still surprising when I see it. You can actually enter into the trunks of some of these trees. Look upwards, and this does look like it was burnt, so it was hit by lightning. As far as I can tell, this is still a living tree. So a lot of things like that to see on this trip. Incidentally, the trail is still paralleling Humboldt Creek, which is still a beautiful creek. It's changed its form a little bit here. It's running a little bit flatter and deeper. Probably goes through riffles and pools. Still very nice. I hope I am still on the trail or a trail, looking to see if there's an alternative way to cross this. I'm going to look around for a minute. So it looks like there is just a way around it. The hazard of this, I mean, obviously it's easy enough to walk around it, is that this is one of the situations where you walk, detour a little bit off the trail. Then when you think you're getting back to the trail, you're actually getting lost in the woods. But for now, I think we are pretty secure about where we are and where we are going. I hope. So along with the bigger and smaller permanent creeks, you can also see this bridge is going over a place that looks like it's a channel for right after heavy rains. So there's a variety of different bodies of water inside of a forest. So it was supposed to be a mile between the last day use area I left and the campground I'm headed towards. And a mile is something I can walk pretty quickly, but as I've said so many times, you know, when you're out here in a location like this, along with the serenity, there is just a feeling of nervousness, because it's like, what if I took the wrong road, the wrong path? And of course out here there is no cell phone reception, so you know, even just this mile walk, along with being very beautiful and that, also, you know, there's always like this little edge of nervousness. The scenery has changed, and I also did hear cars going down the road. So this is one of the cases that are pretty common. I talk about the dark thrill of being in nature, and 3 minutes later I'm back in a rest stop. So this is the road. This is, I believe, Matoli Road. And it says the campground is half a mile this way. I thought that the campground would be right on the road. So I think I will follow it. Just maybe not all the way to the campground, but a little while, then I'll turn around and I'll walk back on the road. It also looks like this trail has been replaced by a mud road. So I think actually, yeah, no particular reason to, or is that a trail? I don't know. Let's just climb over these rocks and see what's here. Well, I think that's the same creek I was following. So yeah, I'm going to turn around here, go back to the day use area. I'm walking back along the road, and one thing I've noticed here is that the species by the side of the road are all native, as far as I can tell. So I haven't really noticed any dandelions or daisies, wild carrots, blackberries, non-native blackberries. And I haven't done like a 100% check, but it does look like most of this vegetation is native. And that's not actually true in the parking lot, the day use area. There was a meadow full of daisies, which are a nice little flower, but are not native. So, you know, usually once you do get further up a road, you do start to see native vegetation returning. We are returning to the Blue Slide area. And, you know, saying anything about the redwood forest is kind of gilding the lily. The only thing I can say is that, you know, there is a diversity in redwood forests. Some are drier, some are wetter.
And so what we saw here, even though for me felt like I went on quite an adventure, that was just about like a mile of trail. And so there is a lot more to see to the redwood forest, but hopefully that grove, that trail gave some idea of what it was like. Anyway, there's the car, and I'm returning home.